I'd like to thank Thomas, who's fixing the mic right now, for getting our speaker set up, for Christy Sanders for the floral arrangement, Leslie Strasser for making sure we got our tent set up. Thank you to everybody who helped set up Heather Lowe. Thank you. My name is Tiffany Lambert. I'm Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning for the Phoenix County School District. And this is just an event that we don't like to have to come together for, but I'm very thankful that you're all here. I don't have to remind anybody that tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of the Almeda fire. But our school district really wanted to find a way with our partners to celebrate the resilience of our community and the work and the partnerships that we have developed this past year. So I thank you for being here. This is about the Manzanita project. This was a project that we worked on this summer. Our students at Talent Middle School and Phoenix High School in the summer program created these beautiful Manzanita brand sculptures. They learned how to weld, put those together. We also created interpretive signs that are along the greenway, which followed the path of the fire. The signs are kind of a bit of a distance away. There's one that's in walking distance that you can look at while you're here. It's just to the north of the parking lot. The others are about 3 miles down the greenway, so the best way to get there is to go to Lynn Newbury Park after this event and walk south. There are maps on either side, and our friends at Ray's Food packed some hiking snacks in some bags that you can take with you when you go to see the signs and the sculptures in place. We'll also be placing signs at each of our school buildings, and we are donating our sculptures, and we're donating sculptures to the school districts of McKenzie River and Sandium Canyon, our partners who also faced devastating fires on September 8th. This couldn't have been done without our amazing staff and partners that we're going to hear a few words from today. So first up, I'm going to introduce Ms. Sandra Tringolo, a teacher at Talent Middle School, who's really responsible for the interpretive signs. Her creativity and hard work made it possible. So, Ms. Tringolo, would you
Hello, I'm Sandra Tringolo. I teach at Talent Middle School. And this summer I worked with 11 students, 11 fire-affected students, to create the interpretive signs that you'll see along the greenway. It was a really interesting process and healing process. Our focus was resilience, and so the students spent time reflecting on their own resilience, on community resilience, and then on the resilience of the greenway. And from that came the 4 signs that you will see today. The artwork behind me was created by 2 2021 graduates from Phoenix High School. They came in and met with the Talent Middle School students who told them what they envisioned for the background on their signs. And then the artists created them, and they're really beautiful, and they are just what the middle school students had envisioned. So it was a really wonderful process of collaboration and communication and vision between the Talent Middle School students and the Phoenix High School students. We worked with professionals from Jackson County Parks, from the Phoenix Talent Fire Department to learn about the Almeda fire, to learn about the process of restoring the greenway, and then that information that the students learn is the information that you see on the signs. The design layout that you see is the design that the students came up with. The text that you see is the text that the students created, including bilingual interpretations. Our students felt like it was really important for the signs to be bilingual, and so we made sure that everything on the signs was translated. And then you'll see through the signs that there is a focus on resilience. And in addition to creating the signs, the students created 2 poems. They worked collaboratively together as a class to create them. And you'll hear one poem later from Mia, but right now I'm going to introduce Abby, who is going to share one of the poems with you. One of our activities was walking around the talented community on a resilient resilience tour to see evidence of community resilience. And then we reflected back on the weeks immediately after the fire, where the community put signs all over Talent and Phoenix to encourage and show support. And the text that Abby is going to read has words that were on those signs. And so every word, every phrase that you hear in the poem were phrases that were put on signs that were placed around the community, and the students put them together in an order that they felt really showed community strength and resilience. So I'd like to introduce Abby Corona.
Our poem is called Together with Strength. Our heartbeat never left, neighbors taking care of neighbors. We will move forward, nos saldremos adelante haremos. Somos fuertes, be strong child, who has no hope here. Unidos y fuertes, community strong. Nos levantamos con fuerza, with kindness, stronger together. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Abby. One of our partners that we couldn't have this project without is Jackson County. They did everything from emergency response by helping us with masks and sanitation products to setting up the evacuation site, giving our school district an opportunity to have a play center for therapeutic play, a setting to set up a classroom space where we could have a tutor and Chromebooks, to giving our families a place, those with RV trailers, and our trailer donation project with our road retreats. When we ran out of space at Southern Oregon RV Park, they opened up Immigrant Light. Then with this project, they installed our signs on a busy week before Labor Day weekend. They just haven't said no to us, mainly because Steve's my husband and he would have to welcome me at home. But thank you to Jackson County, and to say a few words on behalf of Jackson County, we have Commissioner Dave Dowdy.
Are you sure you shouldn't have Steve up there? I mean, I really think you should. Well, I just want to say that it's been a wonderful relationship between the county and the school district and everything. You know, the day after this horrible fire, you know, the district and the county got together and worked together, and that was really important to do that immediately because there were so many needs. And I'm just glad to see that we can work together because it really shows you what a great community we live in and how resilient we are. And we know we've got a lot more work to do, but look what we've done so far. And I think that we've set a template and we set a tempo for how we're going to make this community come back even better than it was. Thank you.
Thank you. When we had the idea first for this project, the first person that I can call who has creativity and imagination and has helped our district working in partnership for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math activities for several years now was Talent Maker City. We had a robust summer program. They really took the projects to heart, and we couldn't have done it without them. So, Allie Frank from Talent Maker City.
You don't know how to dress for this when you're moving metal around all morning and then getting to this afternoon. So thank you. Talent Maker City is so grateful to be a part of this and for the partnership with the Phoenix Talent School District and to be a part of this beautiful community. I wrote notes because I tend to ramble, so I'm going to keep this hopefully brief. When they reached out to us, when Tiffany reached out initially and had this idea of making metal sculptures that students create, the very first person that we knew that could make that vision a reality is Rick Evans, who's the artist. Right there in the fancy sun hat and the Leinster green. Rick Evans is an amazing artist, and the fact that we were able to get him to work with us goes back a ways. He's been an advisor and a consultant with us and helping us set up our kiln and everything else. So So working with Rick and deciding that we could do this as a Manzanita project was a gift for us. And that he agreed to do it. Working with fire with kids and fire impacted kids is really not a big deal. He managed to take students who were impacted by the fire, work with them for 2 weeks. He did this in 2 weeks in 3 hours in an afternoon, 4 days a week. So we're talking about 24 hours total time. And Rick got these students learning how to weld, learning how to make the branches and attach the leaves and everything else that's on there. And then we worked with the high school students making the stands. And there's really something to be said about teaching students a skill, working with an element that's as dangerous as fire. Ryan and I had quite a few discussions about insurance around this. But teaching them how to conquer the element that destroyed some of their homes is so empowering for students to be able to take that and then to have a skill that they'll take with them for the rest of their lives. Like the second that your brain figures out I can control metal, it changes how you look at the world and how you see the world and what kind of opportunities are open to you. And we are just so grateful to have been a part of this project and working with the students that we were able to work with and doing this project. We're humbled and deeply grateful because we're just happy to be a part of this community. So thank you so much for letting us be a part of this. The students that work on this, if you get a chance to please come up, all of their names are on the sign. And then I'm going to tell a tiny little story. See, this is where I start to ramble. Sorry, everybody. Yesterday we were installing the signs. Rick and I were on the Greenway down past Lynn Newberg Park in town, and a woman walked by, and she just had tears running down her face. And she had seen the student art on the signs. And she just came, she was so moved by what she had seen, and so grateful that the sculptures were up, that the signs that the students had made. She's like, this is how our community heals. This is what we do. So thank you for bringing us in. We're really grateful. I don't know who they are. And to Rick. Please talk to Rick, too.
Thank you, Rick. Such a talent. Big dreams come with big price tags, especially with the price of metal nowadays. We could have not done this project without funding from our friends at Ashland Community Hospital Foundation. When Kathleen called in June, she called me and said, we want some way to help your students in Phoenix and Talent. And we had just been talking about this idea. So I pitched it to her, and they said yes. They also paid for our t-shirts that all of our summer school students got, almost 500 students, and our staff for that sense of unity. They also paid for our nursing services this summer so we could care for the physical and emotional well-being of our students. So with that, I'd like to introduce Cindy Bernard, the president of the Ashland Community Hospital Foundation Board.
Well, thank you, Tiffany, and thank you for allowing us to be a part of this amazing project. I mean, what a thing to imagine and to bring to fruition. And for us and our foundation, our little backstory on that is we're moving in new directions as well. We've always supported Ashland Community Hospital, but we most recently have decided to branch out and support other community health endeavors. And what a perfect project to kick off with. I mean, our hearts just went out when we heard the pitch, and there was not one board member, not one donor that we approached that didn't just jump all over it. It's such a great project. So it's my honor, and Kathleen is here as well today, to present a check for $21,500 plus. Congratulations on all you've accomplished this summer. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Next, we're going to hear from one of our staff members at Talent Elementary School, Sonia Mendez. She's a fire survivor, and she told me just a story last week that moved me to tears. I asked her to share it with all of you today. She's an inspiration. Sonia.
Good evening. I am here just to attest to all the miracles that have happened in our community. I was away during the fires. My grandfather on September 5th passed away in Mexico, and I left my kids with my father and my husband. 3 days later, we lost our home. My parents did too. But it was overwhelming, the support that all the families, the community has definitely, especially the staff, have helped my family through this hardship. But the best part is that we are rebuilding, and a miracle, to me it's a miracle because my grandfather had given me seeds, they're tomatillos. So after all this summer, the hot weather and everything, nothing was growing in the back of our yard. We've been building heavy machinery around, and a tomatillo plant right along the side of the fence to my neighbor's room. It is giving great, lots of tomatillas. I don't think I've seen a healthier plant in my life. So it just shows the resilience. I was at the point, I've been strong for my family, but after, when you get to close to the year, this is where the obstacles of, can I keep going, come in. And this plant has shown me so much about how strong we are, and that, even though there have been so many obstacles for this little plant, it can give fruit, So that's what I want to be to my family and to my community, that strong connection to the families at Phoenix Talent, because I was able to, I believe this happened to me so I can help other families. And so I wanted to share this. This is my miracle that's giving me the strength to keep going and helping my community in this way. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. That's really nice. Mia, would you please come up and read the second poem by your Senate group?
Yes.
This is Mia Grosser.
So we made another poem, a second poem. It's a different type of poem, but we all came together as a class to make this poem, and it turned out really good, and it's really inspiring. So resilience, remembering the loss, echoing from what was before, with strength from the community, inspiring our hearts in connection. Love lifts our spirits as one. Imagining a community coming together, each struggle we rise from, never giving up hope of coming back better than before, and entering the future united and strong.
Thank you, Mia. And that poem is printed on the programs that Scientific Day Gathering you can happen today. And I know she's very proud that up next is Mia's mom, Luz Grosser, the president of the Jackson County Long-Term Recovery Group.
Hi everyone, so Blanca Luz, I go by Lucy Grosser. I am privileged to be the president of the Jackson County Community Long-Term Recovery Group, but that privilege comes with the allowance of my wonderful school district, who has allowed me from day one after the fires to be here and serve my community. Growing up here in the hills of Phoenix, my parents are migrant workers that worked in the orchard for many, many years, and some still continue to work there. So for me, this tie is very, very personal, and I wanted to make sure that even though I may not live in the towns of Phoenix or Talent anymore, I do work here. I consider myself a member of your community. So that is when I assumed the role of president of the long-term recovery group, to make sure that all of the needs of our families were addressed, but also to make sure that we could help provide that sense of hope and that sense of esperanza, as I showed Sonia on her picture. That word in Spanish has many meanings, and I just want everyone to remember that it's been hard. It's been a long, hard year. I know from the first few days talking with Joxana and her family, and just all of our families that were so impacted by the fires, but just also our community members. I just want to reiterate, we still have hope. Esperanza still lives, and we really need to rally around our community, much more so now that we've come up on our 1-year anniversary, and really lean on one another and just really promote that kindness and caring that Phoenix and Talent have done for so many decades. Growing up here in the Rogue Valley, I remember when the town was tiny little Phoenix and Talent, and just to see it grow and how it has come back to be such a diverse area. I couldn't imagine any place to be here and of service, and there's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why I'm in the roles I am in, and that is to make sure that we can help not only bring our families home, but we can build back better. So with that, I appreciate, thank you for giving me a little piece in all of this project. My daughter working on the project for everyone. It may not be the most impactful way, but also I wanted her to really work with the families that are her classmates and see their processing, and also for her to process, because Mom's been gone for about a year and working busy on fire recovery. So I have to thank you for giving me that time too. Appreciate it. So thank you so much, everyone, and I'll give it back to Tiffany.
Thank you. We didn't plan wearing the same mask, but we did. I just want to point that out. And so before our superintendent, Brent Berry, closes us out, I just want a reminder that there are snacks for you all to take. You can take several bags donated by Ray's. If you would like to drive along the Greenway to see the signs that are south of the City of Talent Parks Glen Newbury, you can see Steve after this, and you can drive together. Otherwise, there's one sign that you can see at the north of the parking lot. The others are about 3 miles down this way. And again, I thank you very much for being here. So with that, I'm going to introduce our superintendent, who has led us through this past year and is also Oregon's 2022 Superintendent of the Year. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and thank you, Tiffany, and thank you all for being here at this event. It is a long time in the making, and it started with an idea, and what you see is what you get today, and what a way to commemorate the 1-year anniversary. I was hoping this could be a huge, big community event, but our circumstances just don't allow for that. So thank you, special guest, for being here. And I just need to start by, sharing my thanks to someone that really started from minute one on this recovery and rebuilding and taking care of our families, and that's Tiffany Lambert. She is instrumental in so many things. And, I know there's Hollywood power couples and all that sort of stuff, but if there was ever a crisis response power couple, it is Tiffany Lambert and her husband Steve, because they've really done some amazing things for our community, and they're tireless workers. So thank you, Steve, again. I just want to start. There works our kids and families need, and you do that by asking, and families and kids will share. It's really not a difficult thing. Once you say, "What do you need?" Boom, we'll find a way. Point to the resources. So many resources poured through from our community, local community, our state, nation, the globe. Tons of people really rallied around this area. And I will say that what you see and feel here is really hope and encouragement. And even though we have a long way to go to recover and rebuild, there's a good start. we still have families that are suffering tremendous obstacles in order to get back to the community that loves them so much and the community they love. So, but I'm encouraged by everyone here and the people involved to making that happen. When I look out here, I see elected officials from Talent and Phoenix and the county, state elected officials. I mean, this is truly a family and truly a community event. I also see many partners of the school district that is just amazing. And then staff stepped up in ways that you just can't imagine. And the reason we all do this, as you heard from a couple of them today, are the most amazing students that we have. So thank you again. Thank you students, thank you everybody that came to share in this event. It is something that kind of kickstarted. I was asked the other day, you know, how does your team and how does your community, how do you really handle the enormity of what's going on in your community? And, you know, my response was, we just continue to look for the next place to serve. It's just, when you look at how much needs to be done, we've been at rapid speed for a year. And we haven't really slowed down. Once we'll reflect on it when we get time on our greenway for many, many, many years to come. And we will be taking our own family members and grandkids and friends to these commemorative pieces along the greenway. So thank you for that. Aspen Community Hospital, thank you for making foundation. Thank you for making that happen. With that concludes this event. But I encourage you to take a look at the, come and get goodies first of all. Thank you to Raise for, and I mean, younger kids, why don't you look it up, because it's a good song. But thank you all, appreciate it, and have a great day.